Okay, so it's doing it again. All right, I think I'm live, but it's still saying I'm not quite live. So just to make sure that everybody is able to see and hear me, I'm going to wait to see. Okay, so now supposedly I'm officially live. Good afternoon. This is Attorney Catherine Henry. Just did an update through my own personal page because I still have a lot of people that are expecting me to do updates through there and are not quite haven't quite found us yet over here on the Restore Freedom with Catherine Henry page. So a couple of things. I basically just wanted to clear up a bunch of stuff, some basically some frequently asked comments, questions, concerns, that kind of thing, and be able to address things real quick for you here. I was trying to do that, and hopefully I did do that on the video that's on my personal page, which I did just share to this page, but I couldn't see any comments. In fact, I am realizing that I can't, it's doing the same thing to me here. It's no longer giving me the how many people are watching this. I couldn't see where any had been watching the last one, but when I closed it out, it said 162 had already been watching it in the first 10 minutes. And it said there were at least 13 comments, but I couldn't see them. I tried to click on them, nothing works. So this is terrible. Yeah, so I'm gonna do um, I'm gonna do my best, and hopefully it starts showing me some comments. Um, I guess we'll take it from there. So anyway, the main reason why I wanted to do this was to be able to answer questions and comments as they came up, like in the comment feed of this video. So I'm kind of frustrated that it's not working. Let me see if that's one of my team who's trying to help me. Okay. So I do have somebody with me. I guess, Lori, since you're watching me, if you see that there's comments, please let me know because it is looking like there's nothing, but I also have at least one viewer, which would be you, and it's not showing me you either. It's not showing any of that it normally does. So, did I mention I hate Facebook? Okay. So anyway, I will try to follow along on any comments or questions if Lori's able to get those sent over to me, and we'll do it that way because it's not showing anything on the screen. So a few things. One is if you've been, I've had many people in the last week tell me that they've been trying to reach me on Facebook and I'm ignoring them and I'm not answering them. I'm not ignoring anybody. I don't care if we like each other or not. If you're sending me something on Facebook and I'm not responding, it's because I don't have Facebook Messenger. It is, oh, thanks, Michelle. I don't have any, I don't have Facebook Messenger at all. Like every now and then, it'll send me a notification that there is somebody has sent me a message, but it doesn't give me. It's just in my drop down notifications, and it doesn't matter how many different ways I click on it or whatever. It doesn't show me what the message is. More times than not, it'll say Messenger has sent me a message. It doesn't even tell me that who it was that sent me the message. My stepmom from when I was a kid growing up sent me a message maybe a week or two ago. I would love to be able to know what she's trying to say to me, trying to reach me. I don't have her cell phone number. She probably doesn't have mine. I have no way to click on that and send anything to her. So anyway, if you're trying to send me a message, please do not send me on anything on Facebook Messenger because I literally don't get it. If you do have messages you're trying to send regarding any of the work that we've been doing on the Constitution, or hold on one second, child, you better do that work. So if you're trying to answer or get questions answered on the Restore Freedom Initiative or the the petition that we're doing, the work I've been doing in the Michigan Supreme Court, or anything like that, the best bet would be to go through our website, restorefreedomkh.com, and see what kinds of updates we have on there. And if you don't see what you're looking for, because that's going to be the main repository of all the information. And if you don't see what you're looking for there, then if you contact us through our Facebook page, then it's not just me that manages this Facebook page. There's a couple of three other people, I think, that regularly are looking at, looking at the messages that are coming in or looking at the comments or questions. So that's going to be the best ways to get a hold of us. Okay, I do have a couple of questions. Let me get through a couple of these things real quick, just to make sure if anybody didn't see the other video. Number one, we're not done with our petition. We're nowhere near done. We need 425,059 good signatures. I don't have where we're at off the top of my head because, quite frankly, I've not been spending time counting. I've been spending time getting signatures, getting new circulators to get signatures, talking people into being captains to help circulators to go out there and get signatures, trying to sell our merchandise off, getting people to put the car magnets and window decals and bumper stickers on their cars so that they can drive around and advertise and let people know about who we are and what we're trying to do. And of course, writing the briefs for the Michigan Supreme Court and following up on a variety of other things. There's been many different events I've been attending in the last few weeks. Well, quite frankly, since April 30th, I've basically been going around the state and doing a lot of different presentations, whether it's a speech on the steps of the Capitol or it's meeting with a smaller group of people in a pavilion in downtown Detroit area or what have you. Those are the kinds of things that I've been spending my time doing. So it's not that I don't want to necessarily know every single count. In fact, the last time I had somebody count any new arrivals was last week, and then we ended up getting a bunch more in literally right after she left. I had a bunch more dropped off. In fact, I think that was at the end of one of my Facebook Live videos. So I don't have the new ones, and quite frankly, the ones that she had counted that day, I haven't even had time to get them into our spreadsheets to get all the numbers together. So I can tell you per county a very close number to what we have and what we still need. Not that there's a specific number per county that are needed, but it's more reasonable to break it down by number of registered voters and do it proportionately, because we can get and should get a ton more signatures in Wayne County than we would get in Wexford County, because there's clearly far more people. I want to say it was like 1.2 million registered voters in Wayne County. So we should be able to get more signatures there. So it's the 1945 repeal that's done. It's not the Restore Freedom Initiative. And some places we're collecting both, but don't just assume if you've been able to drop off your 1945 Unlock Michigan petitions at a certain place that's automatically where you would drop off ours. In fact, we have had people drop off Unlock Michigan petitions, although just a few here, and we've been able to redirect those and get those back to one of the main places that you can actually are supposed to be dropping off the the repeal 45 petitions. And I did have, I want to say it was Kent County GOP. I was very thankful to them that they called me a couple weeks ago and said, hey, we just found a whole bunch of your petitions mixed in with our petitions, or mixed in with the 1945 petitions. And so I had somebody go over and pick those up and get those for us. So that was good. But I haven't had any other places do that. So I don't know what's happening. If you're dropping off or mailing our petitions anywhere else outside of the places that we are specifically asking you to bring it, then there's a good chance that I'm never going to get it, because no one else has been calling me or telling me that they have them at this point. So just that one place. You can always bring petitions to the address that's on the petition itself. So we'd love to see that. Again, I don't think I said this in this video, but just want to clarify for those people that have called me in the last week or so, maybe week and a half, asking me about, the team of attorneys or one person in particular that's been helping me write all my briefs and all my speeches. No one is helping me write my briefs and my speeches. I don't have any other attorneys. I don't have paralegals. I have, in fact, a lot of the times the speeches, I'm at quite a few of these events, I'm not told until I get there how much time I have to speak. And if there's a particular part of the subject matter that they want me to talk about. So there are often times that I am totally winging it. So no one has written my speech, not even me. And so I just want to clear that up. So if for whatever reason there's confusion about that, it sounds like most of the people that were asking me were pretty sure that nobody was writing my speeches or helping me with them or the briefs. But I just want to make perfectly clear, there is no one helping me with that. So if you think my briefs are awful, you can just blame me. You don't have to blame anybody else. You can just blame me. So I've had people still seems like really confused about having some sort of summary about the Restore Freedom Initiative petition and what we're doing, what it's all about, what it accomplishes, and how it's different from the 1945 repeal. Right on our website, restorefreedomkh.com/petition, if you go to that petition page, you'll see a beautiful flyer that was designed by one of our people over in Freeland that clearly lays out what it is. It's even got the QR code that can help if you wanted to print it and bring it around with you. People can scan that QR code and it'll bring them back to our website to get even more information. But right there on our website is that it's available in color. And then, of course, that one looks better. And it's also available in black and white for people that don't have, I don't even have a color printer anymore. I used to have one, but anyway, so if you just have a black and white printer, there's one of those available for you. If you print it on very low resolution or low quality, you might want to keep in mind that that QR code might not work. So just might want to test that out before if you're planning on showing it to others and having that available for people. So we are collecting signatures into November. However, we are asking that everybody turn in signatures, no matter if it's only 1 on a page or 9 on a page. Sign that circulator part at the bottom and get it back to us on the 15th and the 30th of every month, because we need to be able to get them in so we can maintain ongoing counts, so we can get them sorted by county, so we can get them put in and validated because we are very specific about how many petitions we're going to validate to make sure we're going strong there. I think the last of the main updates I didn't talk about yet, but if you have asked us questions through the website, like I have asked all those questions to be funneled through, and I just haven't gotten back to you yet, it's just because I'm one person and I may not even have the answer yet, especially if it's one of those mask things. I get a lot of mask questions where people are like, hey, my employer did this, this, this. Hey, my child's school did this, this, this. Hey, I had a store do this to me. I had a medical provider do this. Is it legal for them to do that? And 9.9 times out of 10, the answer is no, it's not legal for them to do that. But when they follow up with, well, then what can I do about it? That's where the crickets are chirping, and I have nothing to offer just yet, because it depends on what you're willing to do. Number one, if it's a store or a provider of some kind, or even a school, and you're able, or a job, and you're able to go elsewhere, go elsewhere. Don't support that anymore. Don't be a part of it. Don't buy products there. But if it's Meijer and that's the only grocery store that you guys have for miles around, or it's the only one open by the time you get out of work or whatever, I understand that we're in tough situations like that. So I don't have an easy answer for everyone. That's truly going to depend on what your situation is. Some people can't afford to lose their job right now, even though they might need a medical exemption for a mask, or they just believe strongly through their religious beliefs that that is not the way that God wants us to live, is to hide behind masks and to rather have a true open-faced fellowship with other humans and connection with other humans. I believe that myself, but again, it depends on where can you take that fight to. Some people just don't have the ability to take that fight into different areas of their lives. And I understand that. And so that's part of the hard part, is what can you do about it? Can you file a lawsuit? Sure. Do you need an attorney? Absolutely not. You aren't forced to have an attorney, but of course it's helpful to have an attorney who knows what they're talking about. It also helps an attorney to have an attorney that takes the Constitution seriously and the foundation of our country seriously, which is based on the gifts that God gave us in the first place and the freedoms and privileges and liberties that He bestowed upon us, not our government. But way too many attorneys don't think of that, or they've taken that for granted, or they have forgotten that, and they've gotten too legalistic, and they're just looking at what statutes say or what court cases say. And quite frankly, when it comes down to it, if it's not part of God's law and it's not part of our state or federal constitution, there's a chance that whatever's happening in our government is totally, it's not okay. It's not legal. It's not authorized in any way. So, but to be able to address those in each and every situation, I just haven't had the resources in one way or another to do that. I am still working on it. And so if you haven't had an answer from me yet, you should be hearing from me at some point very soon. Some of you that have submitted things, though, I had this happened actually several times where people would send me something and it doesn't ask me a question. It doesn't have anything specific that they're expecting me to address. It looks like it's just providing information to me, like I might want to know about this going on. If you are in that situation and you have not very clearly said, so my question is, or I am asking about, then don't expect an answer from me, because I'm not necessarily going to answer you if it doesn't appear that you want an answer from me. And some people have gotten, quite honestly, quite rude with me about it, because they're expecting me to just answer everything or read between the lines and find a question where one was not stated. So I do my best, but I'm not a mind reader. And it definitely helps if a question is actually posed in there. So those are all the updates that I wanted to give you, but I'm going to go to tag team in some of my teammates that are watching this video, because I literally cannot see if anybody is on. It doesn't show me any of that. It shows me 0 comments, so I'm not able to follow up on any comments myself. So I'm going to go to Lori first. She says, update on the Supreme Court, sharing the Supreme Court link. Okay, so it looks like what Lori's saying is people were asking about that. And Lori, my guess is that you're saying here that you were giving them the link, so basically giving them the answer to where they can find that information. And by the way, tell your sister thank you for coming today. Unfortunately, she was leaving as I was on this video, and I wasn't able to really say a good goodbye to her. She was trying to quietly sneak out so she wasn't disrupting the video. And then we have somebody asking about House Bill 6134, if that'll go through, and if so, if it'll stop Whitmer. I want to say that might be the one Mike printed for me that I obviously hadn't, not obviously, that I honestly haven't had a chance to look at just yet. So let me get that going. Girlfriend, you got to get that page done. You've been working on it forever. You're going to miss playtime with friends. Don't whine. I'm still doing a Facebook Live. You got to do your work. You know what it is. Yeah, it's terrible. And for those of you who don't know, homeschooling is really, really hard. It's very hard, but it's worth it, because I know what she's being taught and what she's not being taught. And I find it very comforting to know that she's not being taught the garbage that unfortunately is being portrayed most often in our public schools these days, especially like these days, like currently in these last couple weeks. Good gravy. Where is that bill? Oh, 6134. I knew it was that one. Okay, so it is not that long of a bill, so because of that, I will just take a look at it. A bill, I'm not even going to read the summary here. Okay, face covering, a face mask, face shield, or respirator used to cover an individual's nose and mouth for sanitary purposes. Governing body means the body in which the legislative powers of a municipality are vested. Municipality means county, city, village. Okay, so beginning on the effective date of this act, the governing body of a municipality shall not adopt or enforce an ordinance, resolution, or policy that requires an individual to wear a face covering in public or on public or private property or in a public or private building. Sorry, I'm confused because it goes from section 1 to section 3 to section 5. It doesn't say it's amending any other statute. I'm not sure what they're doing here, because I see section 1, section 3, and section 5. I don't see a section 2 or a section 4. Seems to really be missing something here. Anyway, section 5 says any provision in an ordinance, resolution, or policy adopted by the governing body of a municipality on or after the effective date of this act that violates section 3 is void and unenforceable. Seriously? Why would that be? Okay, so this bill is crap. It's not going to do jack, if that's what you're asking about. Let me see what the question was. The question was, will it go through, and if so, does it stop Whitmer? I hope it doesn't go through, because it's stupid. It doesn't do anything. Literally, it doesn't even have section 2 and section 4. It skips those. But even from what it does have, it does not, it literally says it's not affecting the, it's not getting to the point that the private entities that are places of public accommodation have no right to discriminate based on somebody not wearing a mask. So it doesn't even address that at all. It's literally just talking about having an ordinance within city limits or that kind of thing, or a township ordinance, so that a municipality can't try to enforce some sort of mask wearing regulation on the people. And the thing is, it says that it's only in effect as of the beginning of this act, when the act is adopted. And in fact, that it reiterates that in Section 5 by saying that any kind of policy that requires people to wear masks or face shields or anything like that on or after the effective date of this act is void and unenforceable, meaning they're saying that any policy that gets adopted and put in place before this bill would be signed into law would be totally fine, and every single municipality should rush out and go get those in place, and then they're totally fine. They're not void, and they are enforceable. That's what this bill says. So this bill, House Bill 6134, Riley, Steve Johnson, Eisen, Paquette, and Lauer, I don't know what they're doing. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of our state reps that I don't understand. Don't notice that there's Section 2 and Section 4 missing, and they either really don't care to address much of anything with this, or they've not realized that they should say that any regulation by a municipality that's trying to make people required to wear a mask or face shield or anything, it doesn't matter when it was put into place. If it's wrong, it's wrong. It doesn't matter if it was today or yesterday. If it's wrong, it's wrong. So I'm not sure why we have the arbitrary date of only as of the effective date of this bill becoming a law, but that would be when we're looking at this. So I don't know. They're trying to... Okay, so Elizabeth asks, they're trying to kick my child out of school for allergies and claim that it's COVID, and trying to force him to take a test or make me keep him out of school for 10 days, even if he has a clearance from his doctor. They can refuse to take my son. Can they do this? The answer is no, they absolutely can't. In fact, look at Article 8 of our entire state constitution. The whole article is about education. And Section 1 of Article 8 says that, make sure I'm quoting myself correctly here. Nope, nothing. Oh, dang it. I really needed to take that call. That's my good friend Darleaf, a sheriff that actually understands enforcing the Constitution. I guess I'll have to call him in a second here. Sugar. And then I accidentally answered and then accidentally hung up on him all at the same time. Isn't that fantastic? Okay, so Article 8, Section 1 of our state constitution says, religion, morality, and knowledge being necessary to good government and the happiness of mankind, schools and the means of education shall forever be encouraged. And Section 2 says the legislature shall maintain, doesn't have maybe, maintain, shall maintain and support a system of free public elementary and secondary schools as defined by law. And every school district shall provide for the education of its pupils without discrimination as to religious, creed, race, color, or national origin. And so, especially when you have those people that are not complying with, having any of this testing done or the masks or any of that because of their religious beliefs, and they're being denied, their child is being denied an education, that goes directly in violation of specific provisions in Article 8 of our state constitution. But even more so, let's remember we have Article 1, Section 23 of our state constitution and the 9th Amendment to our U.S. Constitution, both that guarantee to us that we still have a whole bunch of rights that are unenumerated, meaning we didn't list them in other parts of the Constitution, but we still have those rights. And the government's still supposed to protect them because the founders want to make it very clear that it's not that we have to prove we have a right before we get to exercise it. That's not what happens here. No, we need to use a little bit of common sense. The government does not have a right to act, does not have a right to restrict us in any way unless it is purposely and clearly and plainly put in the text of the state or federal constitutions. Period. That's it. They have to prove they have a right to act. We don't have a right. We don't have to prove that we have a right to simply exist or be or not wear a mask. So, no, they don't have a right to do that. And those are one of those things that I'm working on. Are executive orders a law is the next question. Absolutely not. In fact, if you look at our Michigan codified laws, they're called MCLs. If you go to the legislature's website, Google Michigan Legislature, go to their website, you'll be able to do a basic MCL search, okay? And then you'll be able to search by section number. If you search section 8.8, it tells you what a law is. A law is either something that has been passed through the legislature and then either vetoed by the governor and come back and received a 2/3 vote by the majority, by the supermajority of votes of the legislature, or gone through by a simple majority and then gone to the governor and the governor has signed it. That's a law. Or a constitutional executive order by the governor that's done through Article 5, Section 2 of our state constitution, where she's simply allowed to reorganize the executive branch. That's it. And still has to give the legislature 60 days to act on it to decide if they want to disapprove of it. Or the third thing that is considered a law under the state Michigan law is if the people have initiated a law through the initiation process that's in our state constitution. If any of those three are not met, then it's not a law. Executive orders themselves are not laws. The only kind of executive orders that are allowed are Article 5, Section 2 of our state constitution, where the governor is simply allowed to restructure the executive branch. Executive branch, that's it. And so I could tell you that as of a week ago, the last time I looked it up, when we had 181 executive orders, we have more than that now. But in Michigan, when we had 181 executive orders, only 11 of those were Article 5, Section 2 executive orders. So that means 94% or 170 out of 184 of the executive orders from the year 2020 are unconstitutional and illegal on their face. They're not enforceable at all, period. I don't care if we have commercials and emails and signs plastered all over the place that say wear a mask, it's the law. It's not the law. And it's downright disgusting that people keep saying that because it is absolutely not the law. It's an unenforceable, unconstitutional executive order. That's what it is. It's evidence of our governor violating her oath of office. It's evidence of all those participating businesses that put those signs up that say it's the law. It's evidence of them violating purposefully our constitutionally protected freedoms. And it's evidence that people are not paying attention to what our government is all about and that this is truly a Republican form of government as guaranteed to us under Article 4, Section 4 of our United States Constitution, and that we, the people, maintain control. And that we elect representatives to act on our behalf in ways that we have specifically given them the power or the authority to do so under our state or federal constitutions. Period. So anytime you see something that says wearing a mask is the law or an executive order is the law, the answer is a big fat no, it is not. Never will be, never has been. Okay, so okay, it looks like those are all that I have. Again, I can't see the comments on the video. I don't know why it's doing that on my own personal page, and now it's doing this on the Restore Freedom with Catherine Henry. Okay, well, Stephanie, I don't know if you're watching this video. You often watch a lot of my videos. I had Stephanie just text me that she has just read, I'm assuming it's my most recent brief, and she thought it was really, really good and thanks me for sticking up for all of us and our constitutions. And you're welcome, Stephanie. I am glad to be able to serve my state and my country in that way. When I met my husband, I had actually gone through all the clearance processes to being a JAG attorney. I was going to join up as a O2 level with the Michigan National Guard, and it was an exciting and yet scary time for me. I basically had one thing left, and that was to try to figure out at times where I would need to be away or overseas or whatnot, where my son would go, because I was a single mom at the time. And that is the only thing that kept me from finalizing. I had the vision tests and the hearing tests, which of course I needed waivers because I have contacts and I am deaf. And so I had some waivers. I had all the other physical tests done. I had all the clearances and the paperwork and everything else submitted. And that was the one thing, was the plan about what was going to happen to my beautiful, wonderful, precious son, who at the time was 6 or 7. I want to say he was 7. And I was a single mom. And then I met my husband, and God had a lot of other plans for me. So guess what? I'm still going to serve our country. And it's just in a little bit different way. So I am very grateful and blessed to be able to write these briefs and answer questions for people and get people excited and knowledgeable about what our state and federal constitutions say. So let me see, check on that to see if there are any last questions. Oh, let's see. Oh, no, we got another question. Okay, how can people be arrested, fined, and put in jail for violating an executive order if it is not law? An attorney explained that it is law until it isn't, because they're an idiot. Whoever said that an executive order is a law until it isn't a law is purely an idiot. I don't care who that attorney is. I don't know who that attorney is. I don't think I want to know who that attorney is. They don't know what they're talking about. Executive orders are not law. I don't know where I have that printed out. I have the... You know what, guys? I'll be right back. I'm going to grab that statute. Oh, lucky for me, I'm actually quite organized. So, I don't know if you guys can see this. This says, this is MCL, 8.8. What a law is defined as these things right here: a public act of the legislature, an initiated law adopted by the people, an executive order of the governor submitted to the legislature pursuant to Section 2 of Article 5 of the State Constitution of 1963 and having the force of law. Her ridiculous executive orders are not laws. They're not laws. I'm betting my entire reputation and career and hard work, the 5 jurisdictions I'm licensed to practice law in, and the other one that I used to be licensed in before I moved and came over to Michigan, I'm betting all of that on the fact that executive orders are not law. How are people being fined and ticketed? And I have not honestly heard of anybody actually being arrested or jailed because of it, but being ticketed or fined in some way, because we have some, not all, some law enforcement officers that are not following the Constitution. We have some prosecuting attorneys and city attorneys that have totally forgotten to read the Constitution. We have some judges that don't even care about the Constitution. And we have local health department and other government agencies and entities and individuals who have totally forgotten the basis of our government is built upon, literally, in the state of Michigan, we, the people of the state of Michigan, grateful to Almighty God for the blessings of freedom, grateful to Almighty God for the blessings of freedom, and earnestly desiring to secure these blessings undiminished at all, undiminished, to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution. Literally, our entire form of government was created in the state of Michigan to secure the blessings of freedom given to us by God. So to the extent that our government is trying to do something to harm our blessings of freedom given to us by God, then they are stepping outside of the scope of the whole reason why we came together as one collective people in the state of Michigan to have a state government. That is literally the whole reason why we created our state form of government. It's also the same reason one of several reasons why we came together as a country. Read the preamble of the Constitution of the United States, and you will see in there it says that we want to secure the blessings of liberty. Blessings of liberty that obviously come to us from the same source, right? So we need to make sure that we are holding our legislators accountable. We are holding our law enforcement officers accountable. If they are going to violate the Constitution, then I'm not going to back them. I don't think so. I will absolutely back any day of the week any law enforcement officer who is going to stand up for the oath of office that they took under Article 11, Section 1 of our state constitution, which is also something that's required under Article 6 of our U.S. Constitution, the oath of office to uphold the U.S. and Michigan constitutions. Any public officer at all that is going to stand by that oath, regardless of how unpopular it may seem, I will have your back any day of the week. Absolutely. But anyone who is in those positions, who's took that same oath, who is violating that oath right now, you got another thing coming. Because I'm just getting warmed up. And the people of Michigan are getting sick and tired of you playing these games with their freedoms. And they're not going to tolerate it anymore either. So we are going to stick together as one people here, and we're going to hold them accountable, and we're going to call them and email them and text them, and we're going to write them letters, and we're going to go to any public meetings that they're having, and we're going to let them know this is not okay. Executive orders are not laws unless they fit that very narrow exception of an executive order that is considered a law in the state of Michigan. So absolutely, absolutely not. We will not tolerate it. It takes all of us working together to hold them accountable, though. That's how it's happening. Why can public schools deny children face-to-face learning if the kids aren't wearing masks? I guess I'm not sure what that question is. Why can they deny them face-to-face learning if they're not wearing masks? I think the question is saying for an individual child is being denied to be able to come personally into the building because they're not wearing a mask. They can't do that. They can't. I don't have a Staples easy button to make it all better and make it go away. It's a big long-term problem that we will have to address. How can I get my kids at school to stop enforcing this mask requirement? That's the next question I was sent here. You need to do everything that I just said. You need to contact every single person on your school board. You need to contact the superintendent. You need to contact the principal, the vice principal. You need to contact the teachers. You need to contact the state Board of Education. You need to contact your state rep and your senator, and you need to tell them that these things are not okay. And no matter what laws or policies they put in place, if they violate the Constitution, the Supremacy Clause, which is in Article 6 of our U.S. Constitution, very clearly says that any kind of unconstitutional act or law is void. It's the the Constitution of the United States is the supreme law of the land. And so that's why we had that precedent set in the 1853 or whatever it was with Marbury versus Madison, when the court very clearly told us that if you have an unconstitutional act of government, it's void. It's unenforceable on its face. This is not something that some attorney says, well, it's deemed, you treat it like it's a law until it's not a law. It never is a law. It never was a law. The government never had the authority to do that in the first place. And even if it's done by law, some of these things are being snuck in by our Republican-led legislature and signed by the governor very quietly. Some of these things that are coming in right now and becoming state law are not enforceable. If they violate our constitutionally protected freedoms, they are not enforceable. So we need to band together and hold our government officials accountable. Don't think that you're just one person and you can't make a change. You can make a change, and we need you to help make the change. So I haven't heard my phone beep in the last 3 seconds, and I'm hoping that means that there are no more questions and I've been able to answer them. I can't see them myself. So I appreciate the few people that have been texting me with any kind of updates and questions that they are seeing people ask. So to the rest of you, I apologize. I literally cannot see anything. I have the streaming part up. It's supposed to show me where comments are. I can comment, but I can't see your comments. So if I have missed, or if we as a team have missed your comments or questions today, I do apologize. Hopefully we'll be able to get those answered in another video or another post, or please take a look at the briefs that I've been filing with the Michigan Supreme Court. They're right on the website under documents. It's actually under resources and then documents, the resources tab of restorefreedomkh.com. Love to be able to provide any information to you that you need. So please study those constitutions, read what's out there, stay involved, stay engaged, help us get signatures for the Restore Freedom Initiative, and please make sure to have a wonderful weekend. Thank you all.